Nerds. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. You're in for a treat today. Down here, Witchwood Barns, Artscape, Christie Street. Come on down, check us out. We have free parking. Free parking. We also have a dog park. We have a volleyball park. It's a great area, great for the community. So again, we're down here, 601 Christie Street, Artscape, Witchwood Barns. You're watching Wild Child Records, and we have a show for you today. Sitting beside me, we have music sensation Josh Taerk. Josh is going to tell us all about his illustrious career, the people that support him, including AMG and Sony Music, and a worldwide producer is going to be on the show later on. His name is Mark Berry. Now, Mark has worked with the starlets of the world. He's worked with the Stones, he's worked with Paul McCartney, David Bowie, the list goes on and on. Pop Cherry. We're going to talk a little bit about Pop Cherry's connection later in the show. I really want to thank Mark, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're going to get into Josh, as he is a triple threat. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and he's a musician. So Josh, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, thank you very much for having me, Jay.
This is great. Now, we were talking off the air a little bit. His whole family are musicians. So tell us, we'll talk about you, but I really want to get into the dynamics of your brother. So tell us what's going on latest, and then we'll go back and then we'll jump up.
Absolutely. Well, I've got an incredible live stream that's coming up. We partnered with a phenomenal group in the UK called Get Ready to Rock Radio. And one Sunday a month, we do an entire live stream radio show that you can stream from Get Ready to Rock Radio, or you can stream from my Facebook page. We've also got live shows coming up at the end of this month. We're booking tons of stuff for the summer. And we've got some new music on the way as well.
Speaking about Facebook, we're live right now on Facebook.
There you go.
And it's blowing up, so make sure you comment. Josh would love to hear from you, and we'll respond
100%.
too. So again, we're live on Facebook, the Disability Channel. Now, being a younger guy, right, compared to me, how is it now online? How's the online presence, the response? Because like 10 years ago, no one would ever do a concert online.
I think that the invention of social media and the strides that they've taken in the technology and the way that you can interact with people online is fantastic. I think it's given artists, creatives, musicians, personally, the ability to reach people that they weren't able to reach before, and also reconnect with fans from different parts of the world that they may not be able to go back to. I started my career touring in the UK and was touring through regions of Scotland, England, and Wales. And so some of those places are a little bit more difficult to get back to, especially being a kid from Toronto. So doing things like Twitch live streams, Facebook lives, Instagram lives, gave me the ability to not only make new fans and share my music with new people, but reconnect with some of my old fans that I hadn't been able to see live for a while.
And I guess there's also revenue opportunities too, right, with the live streaming?
Absolutely. And I would say, Facebook has done a great job of jumping on that bandwagon. I know Instagram has inputted some stuff as well. The one that I know very intimately is Twitch, because I started using Twitch during the pandemic to kind of supplement the you have to stay at home, but have that bug to play live. So
this is really interesting because, with my association with music, things have changed so much over the years, right? Over the years, and we're going to talk a little bit about with Mark, because he knows the industry inside and out, and how he's had to become flexible and innovative and stay up with the times, right? So let's talk about three things. So songwriting,
absolutely,
singing, and playing. Now, which one do you find the most enjoyable?
Oh, they all serve different purposes in my life, and I can't say that I fell in love with one more than the others, because they all kind of bled into each other. I started playing guitar, and when I was about 12, 13, I had really long curly hair like Slash. I've got a couple pictures online of like a comparison, and you'll be shocked to see the resemblance, but I thought that was my thing. I thought I was going to be a lead guitar player, that was going to be the way I went, and then started learning how to play on the acoustic, started learning chords, and I realized very quickly if I wanted people to know what song I was playing, I'd have to sing. And so I kind of fell into singing, fell in love with singing, and then from there started writing my own stuff. And
now, did you take any lessons for either or?
Absolutely.
You did?
When I was starting out, I took guitar lessons for a while, and then past guitar lessons, I started taking vocal lessons.
Vocal lessons.
And I always look at it like you can't know enough about the thing that you love to do. So anytime you have a passion for something, there's always more that you can learn about it. there's always more things that you can discover, even about your own way of doing it.
Did you think you could sing, or did you hey, I can sing, or did somebody say, hey, you can sing?
So it's a very funny story. I always loved performing.
Okay.
I would do like school plays and stuff like that, but I never considered myself a singer or a musician. And so when I started playing guitar, I would kind of sing for small groups of my friends. And I was at summer camp working as a counselor and had an off period, so I sat down with a couple of my buddies, pulled out the guitar and started singing. And this really, really pretty girl sits down in front of us and says,
the way.
I know, right? It's the gateway. That's the gateway.
It is, yeah.
And she says, what are you playing? I said, oh, it's Wonderwall by Oasis. I was puffing out my chest. Felt really good about myself in that moment. She goes, oh, well, can you start it again and sing it? Because if you don't sing, I'm not going to be able to follow along with it. And my stomach just dropped into my feet because I was like, you know, unless you were my shampoo bottle, I wasn't like putting on performances.
Yeah.
But again, she was really pretty, and it was in front of my friends. So I was like, okay, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
Started the song again, started singing. When I was done, she looked at me and she said, I didn't know you were a singer. I said, neither did I.
So there you go. And this is just
since.
a random person, right? So they're the most honest people, right?
Absolutely.
Like you don't want to ask your mom. Because, you know, your mom might be a little biased.
You know, it's funny. I have a really, really close relationship with my family. I'm the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
And we're all very creative. All of us are very musically inclined, too. And so they're always very honest with their input. But like you were saying, when you have somebody who's outside of that family unit telling you, like, wow, I think you got something here. Like, that's really great. It hits a different chord.
Yeah.
You know?
So you say you got 5 siblings. Now, I know off camera we're talking you have 2 younger brothers.
I do.
And I guess you have 2 sisters.
So I've got 3 younger brothers.
Oh, 3 younger
and
brothers.
a sister.
Oh.
And I'm the oldest.
Now, are the other 2 musically inclined? Or
They
no?
are, yes.
They are too?
Yeah, they kind of do it for pleasure. They don't really like pursue that as part of their career. But the 2 that I write with the most, Ryan and Matt, they've actually played live with me a couple of times. They've been on a lot of my recordings as well. And
would you guys, like, as you move along, like, as your younger brothers get older, do you guys ever talk about forming, like, a band?
We've talked about it a lot, yeah. And we all have different passions and different passion projects that we're a part of that sometimes take us away from that, you know, let's form a band and let's write something and let's make a record. My brother Ryan's an actor, and so that takes him away for periods of time. My brother Matt is also a screenwriter and photographer and a chef, so he's got a lot of like hands in different pies kind of thing.
Would it be nice to get your sister involved, because that's a female voice, right? That's a different angle.
So my baby sister, I think she has a beautiful voice. She plays a bunch of instruments. She doesn't love being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I completely respect that. Doesn't love performing for people. And that's definitely a big part of it. I feel that if you want to get into something like this, that is a big element, especially these days with live streaming and social media. You do kind of have to want to be in that position.
Spotlight. Now, but you said she's young, right? So maybe
she's,
when she gets a little older,
it's possible,
right?
You never know,
might,
right?
You know, break out of her shell a little bit.
Never say never.
Why don't we take a quick break? Because when I want to come back, I want to talk about the dynamics of you and AMG and Sony. Because I know we have lots of independent and emerging artists watching.
Very much.
And I think you could share some really important information without giving away the house, of course.
Hey, I would love to.
So stay tuned. You're watching Wild Child Records. On the show today, we have Josh Taerk. Later in the show, we have from AMG, we have worldwide famous producer Mark Berry coming on. So stay tuned. Give us a comment. I know our Facebook page is blowing up, so we'll be right back with Wild Child Records.
Friends, it's an absolute pleasure to send greetings as you gather for this fantastic fundraiser in support of the Disability Channel and Legion 60. Thanks to everyone involved for the important work you do for our veterans and people with disabilities. You're supporting them as they gain valuable work experience and helping build a stronger Ontario for everyone. You're all absolute champions. Your generosity is greatly appreciated, and I hope you have a fantastic event.
Hi, I'm Brad May, and you're watching the Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Welcome back to Wild Child Records. Wow, that was a quick break.
There you go.
So there you go. Yeah, so again, we're live on Facebook. Do comment. We have lots of stuff coming up. I just want to mention, so later after the show, we're going to be switching over live to Twitch as we're going to be having an open mic hosted by veteran and really good guy, Vince Campbell. He's bringing down a few of his veterans friends. You don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to be disabled. Come on down to our studio. It's free. Play some tunes, get on camera, maybe get noticed by Mark Berry. Hey, there's my dog in the background. Now that's the steal of the show,
the star
right
of the
there.
show, for
star
sure.
of the show.
For sure.
So again, we're here with musician Josh Taerk. Now, what I want to do is flip it a little bit and let's talk a little business.
Absolutely.
And tell us how you sort of got intertwined with AMG and what they do for you and Sony and Mark. So tell us about that first relationship, that first meeting with Mark and AMG. Or how you met them or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been an independent musician for a long time. I started writing and recording music when I was 16. And so from there, I had to wear a lot of different hats, and I had to learn how to manage, book tours, route tours, do all of those things. And it was through those efforts and through the things that I was learning, just kind of jumping into it and having that passion and that belief in what I was doing that led me to Mark. I was playing a big show in Toronto, and I reached out to him. Forget what social media service I had reached out to him on, but I reached out to him, and he responded back.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. I took a shot in the dark, and I went, hey, we're connected, we're following each other. It would be great to see you at the show. Let me know if you'd like to come. And sure enough, a week or so before the show, we talked. He said, I'd love to be there.
Wow.
He came out, and the rest is history.
That's kind of lucky, right? Like in our world, that's kind of lucky to have a famous producer reply, first of all.
I mean,
first of all, and then to show interest in you, and then so take us from there.
I'm very grateful for it. And, I've loved working with Mark and the guys at AMG, and through them, getting that distribution through Sony has been fantastic. And to every musician that's out there, and anybody that has a dream, really, that's working and trying to figure out how do I make this happen, you just got to keep doing it. You got to keep sending messages. You got to keep believing in what you're doing, because you work towards those moments of grace.
So tell emerging artists now, what is the game plan to make a living as a musician and your name is not Burton Cummings or Beyonce or Mariah? You know what I mean? Like you're a 9-to-5er, but you're a good musician. How do you make a living, Josh?
So being in the music business, you have to recognize that it's not just about being creative. It's about also being business minded and thinking about the skills that you have in more than just, okay, I can write songs, I can produce my own music, and I can release my own music. Because if you're a songwriter, there are a lot of things that you can do as a songwriter and as a writer in general. There are a lot of different ways that you can take your copywritten material and earn from those. There are different skills that you can gather along the way. I mean, I didn't start off being able to produce my own records. I didn't start off being able to understand how to use broadcasting software. But if you love something enough and you're dedicated enough to your vision, to your dream, and to all of the things that you can see yourself doing, you start to get excited about learning these things and applying these different things to your career.
And I know there's two more angles, because there's also film and television. We're going to talk a little bit more about Mark later. Let's go back to the creative side now. So when you're songwriting,
yes,
what are some of your inspirations, like you've used in the past?
Everything.
Yeah?
I'm one of those writers that I can't plan it. It doesn't happen when I try and force it to happen. But if I'm open to it, it can be anything from a TV show, a book that I'm reading. I wrote a couple songs a while back.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my backyard with my dad. I had just come off of tour, and we were having a drink outside, and the sun was just kind of in that like golden light period. And I remember sitting there with him thinking, this is great. And he goes, well, I'm going to go, grab another drink and come back out, because I don't know how many more days like this we're going to have before it turns into fall. And I sat there for a second as he went inside, and I was like,
Right there, eh?
How many days we have like this? That's a really interesting way to phrase it. And then by the time he came back, I was like, can I play you something? I just, So it always happens differently. Sometimes it's the melody that comes first. Sometimes it's the lyrics that come first. But I love that it always takes me by surprise.
Are you a rhymer?
I do like rhyming. I do like not rhyming for specific reasons
Yeah.
as well. I love playing with language.
That's how I do it. That's how I start to write. I pick a word that I want to write the song about, and then it's all about rhyming for me.
That's very cool.
That's how I do. I just pick a word like an inspiration. Like for instance, when I did my song, it was all about disabilities, so that was the word. And then but what I did. Like I looked at was the Eagles song, "Take It Easy on Me." I looked at that song and I looked at how they wrote it, and I thought, okay, I get that because they rhyme and. And that's how I did. I don't know. It's like but it just comes to you. You can't sit down. It just got to come to you.
Sure.
Sort of thing.
And like with anything, the more you do it, the more you realize that you can take that structure and change it and play with it. And it's one of the things that I loved about it. I'm an English lit major as well, and so studying English lit, Virginia Woolf had a really, really famous quote where she says, "You got to use the master's tools to take down the master's house." You got to learn how something works inside and out before you can start rearranging it, playing with it, changing it, and it's great when you get to that place.
This is great, Josh. So I know you say you have your online gig.
Yes.
But you also have another gig coming up.
I do. For anybody that's in the GTA, I'm
Yeah.
playing an acoustic show, which I don't do very often actually. It's a lot of full band stuff, but I'm playing an acoustic show at the Black Swan Tavern, February 28th at 9:30.
This is great. So what we're going to do, I know he has his guitars right beside him, but before we break those open, let people know if they want to find out more information about you, Josh, where could they go?
Absolutely. I am all over the internet, and I love being available like that because I love meeting people. I love connecting with people, whether it's online or in person through music. There is nothing better for me.
So where could they reach you? Like just Facebook, Taerk? Like
if you type in Josh Taerk into your search engine of choice, I've got a website. I'm on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Threads.
There you go.
I've got music on Spotify, Apple Music. Believe we're on Pandora and Amazon Music as well.
Beautiful. On the show today, we had Josh Taerk. I think I've been mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry about that.
That's all good.
Yeah, but that's good though.
Not the worst one that I've heard too. But it's,
Josh Taerk. There you go. So when we come back, we're going to have on music producer Mark Berry from AMG, and we're going to be breaking out some songs.
Fantastic.
So stay tuned. You're watching Wild Child Records. On the show today, we had Josh Taerk. Josh Taerk. There you go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Wild Child Records.